Let's create a Lakers tier list. So we got superstar, star, solid, okay, not great, not a fan, South Bay. South Bay meaning G League players. Let's start easy. Obviously, superstar, LeBron, Luka, put those guys up top. The explanation is pretty simple here. Those guys are on a different level than anybody else on the team, pretty much on a different level than anybody else in the league. Where to next? Let's go with Jackson Hayes, who's had a pretty good season and he's the starting center of the Lakers. For now on this list, I'm going to put him in the okay tier, but as I put other players in, he may move. Last season, I would have put him in not great, but he's had a much improved season. I don't think he's fantastic, but he's been a serviceable starting center for the team that is really trying to play a lot of small ball right now. Let's go Coach Redick next. Obviously, since he's a coach, it's a little bit harder to rank him on this list, but I'm going to put him in the star tier. I think he's a top 3 coach in the league right now, just in my personal opinion with that Lakers bias. Obviously, I think Kenny Atkinson is probably going to win Coach of the Year, but I think JJ Redick has to be a contender, and I'm putting him in the star tier. It's his first year being a head coach, so I think he has potential to move up to like a superstar tier head coach, if that even is a thing. I guess Greg Popovich or somebody like that would be in that category, maybe Steve Kerr. JJ Redick has been an amazing first-year head coach, so I've been really impressed. Markieff Morris. He's kind of a legend because he won a championship with the 2020 team, and for that reason, I got to move him above the not a fan tier, and I'm going to put him in the not great tier. He's not great. He's pretty old, and I think he's considering retiring, but I am a fan because he won a championship with that 2020 team, so it would just be dishonest to put him in the not a fan tier. Jared Vanderbilt, defensive specialist. I'm going to put Vanderbilt in the solid tier. He's got some offensive shortcomings, and I think he's still on a minutes restriction, but he's a high motor athlete, always is running the floor, giving it 110%, and he's one of the best defenders on the team. Vanderbilt is solid. Dalton Knecht is okay. He had like a 5-game stretch where he looked like a starting caliber guy, but we haven't seen that in quite some time. If he's not hitting shots, he's not effective on the court. Rui Hachimura is solid. He's a great shooter. I actually think he's an underrated, just corner 3 specialist type of guy. I think he gets in trouble sometimes when trying to do too much, and he's a subpar playmaker, but he's too good of a shooter to put below solid, and he's randomly an awesome Jokic stopper. Gabe Vincent has had the ultimate rise of the season. Earlier this season, I would have had him in not a fan, but he's worked his way all the way up to solid. He's not great at anything, but he's pretty good at everything. Shooting, defense, playmaking, all solid. Jordan Goodwin, he's okay, and that's pretty good for a guy that the Lakers just add to a two-way mid-season in February. Like Vando, he's a super high motor guy, and he does a lot of the little things like diving for loose balls. Respect for Jordan Goodwin, I'm putting him in the okay tier. I hate to do it, but we've got to add someone to the not a fan tier. Cam Reddish, Shake Milton, 2 guys that have completely fallen out of the rotation. Speaking of not in the rotation, because he's injured, Maxi Kleber, from what we've seen from Maxi's career, he can be a real rotation player. He had a game winner against the Lakers in 2023, so I've got to give him his flowers. I think once he comes back, he can actually be a part of this team. We just haven't seen anything, so I'm putting him in the okay tier for now. Trey Jemison. It's tough for me because I'm contemplating putting Trey Jemison between okay or not great. Similar to some of these other guys, we just haven't seen a lot of Trey Jemison. We've seen some okay moments, but we've also seen some not great moments. For the time being, I'm going to put him in the not great category. I feel like it's unfair to put him on the same tier as Jackson Hayes or Dalton Knecht, 2 guys that have had some good moments this season. Trey Jemison, I'm a fan of his. I think that he can move his way up to the okay tier. Just for now, I think the fair thing to do is to put him in the not great category. I am a Christian Koloko believer, but lately he has completely fallen out of the rotation. They don't give him any minutes anymore. I think they're banking on Trey Jemison more now. It's a bummer. I thought he could have been an okay piece to this team. The coaching staff doesn't seem to believe him, so I guess I have to put him at the top of the not great category at the moment. Austin Reeves has been a star player this year. He's been the 3rd best player all season. No question about it, star tier. DFS, to me, is at the top of the solid tier. He does everything. Sometimes it won't show up on the stat sheet, but I think he's the top role player and probably the 4th best guy on this team. I love Bronny James, but he's in the G League. Granted, he's a beast in the G League, but that's just the stage of the career he's at right now. I can't wait to see him improve.